So we're here with Rebecca Swift. Thank you, Rebecca, for joining us. Rebecca is Head of Creative Planning with Getty Images. And Rebecca's been at Spikes today talking about visual storytelling. Tell us a little bit about what you've been speaking to delegates about today.
Well, I've been talking about how the photography industry has changed in the last 6 or 7 years because of user-generated content, the impact of mobile photography, and the types of images that are now needing to be captured to really capture consumers and customers' imagination.
Getty's kind of moved beyond its traditional parameters, which was a news agency, picture agency, to working with brands, working with marketers to get the right kind of visuals for campaigns.
Yeah, so we offer a kind of visual consultancy, if you like, to brands, because obviously being a global agency, we have a global viewpoint, and we pretty much work with any company you can imagine, whether that's media, corporates, agencies, and so we have a really good viewpoint of the types of images that are being chosen, the types of images that are being searched for, and we're able to use that information to advise brands. But I think probably the biggest change for us as a company has been to move from that kind of traditional photo agency way of getting images to crowdsourcing. So that's been a major shift for us. We now work with huge numbers of photographers based around the world with our collection that's called iStock Photo. And they and those photographers are pretty much anywhere you can imagine in the world, and they form their own communities, and we communicate a lot via social media, Facebook and Twitter, etc. And we're able to brief hundreds of thousands of photographers at any one time, which, as you can imagine, going back to the old model where you're working one-on-one with a photographer, is a completely new model.
And it's such a powerful medium that you're in. I mean, where nobody reads anything anymore. Everyone wants it visually. The storytelling's all visual. I mean, it's the power's with Getty at the minute, isn't it?
I wish. No, I think the power's with the pictures.
Power's with the pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think this idea of user-generated content, because it's something we've been hearing a lot about this week. I mean, how does that impact Getty's business model, where you're dispatching photographers or setting up these photo communities, and then as a side to that you have people sending you pictures, using pictures from their mobile phones, from their phones all the time. How does that change the business for you?
Well, I mean, it's had a seismic change. We've had to change our processes. We've had to change the way that we communicate with our photographers. It's less about having a one-on-one relationship with the photographer. It's more about having a relationship with a group of photographers or a community of photographers. So that has probably been the biggest change that we've experienced. But I think also what's happened as a result of all of this user-generated looking photography is that actually our professional photographers, so the old school photographers, are now having to adapt to that type of photography as well.
So the style has changed. So the in vogue style for photography is that kind of off the cuff, crash zoom, all shaky. Wow.
Yeah, so lens flare, bad composition, dodgy cropping.
Wow.
So we're seeing that in highly professional, well thought out imagery as well as user generated.
Isn't that amazing? It's like the way we're digesting news. If you look at, the horrible case of Woolwich, we got that news via mobile phone footage. With the mirror and the sun and everything. So I suppose it's how we adjust to those images.
Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting. And you, in terms of ownership of pictures, I think you've got one of the largest photo banks in the.
We don't have the largest. We have the most diverse.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of the different types of images, we're the only agency in the world that has user-generated, professional advertising, news, sport, entertainment, documentary, archive. We have a massive archive. So yeah.
Fascinating. Thank you for talking to us today, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you. Cheers.